It's time to play Hard Hat Trivia. See if you know the answers to these hard-hitting construction questions. If you do, shout it out. What type of ball can be used during demolition? A. Cricket ball. B. Basketball. C. Wrecking ball. D. Soccer ball. It's a wrecking ball. Wrecking balls were mostly used in the 1950s and 60s to destroy old buildings. But they caused big messes and were so dangerous that now they've been replaced by hydraulic excavators and explosions. Okay, next question. What is a 7-letter word for the person in charge of a construction site? A. Manager or B. Foreman? A foreman is in charge of an entire construction site, managing everything from the construction crew to the materials and all of the equipment. What's the name of the colorful, two-dimensional technical drawing that has all the details of a construction project? A. Canvas, B. Sketchpad, or C. Blueprint? If you said C. Blueprint, you are correct. The blueprint process was first developed in the 1840s by the British astronomer Sir John Herschel. He used a photosensitive compound, a solution of ammonium ferric citrate and potassium ferricyanide, and coated it onto paper. Did you understand any of that? Yeah, me neither.
What's up, friends? My name is Nicole. Get on your feet because it's time to worship God.
With all my heart and soul, with all my mind and strength, will you show me, God, to love like you love me, so all the world will see. When things don't go my way, I'll talk to you, hear what you say, that's what I do. That's loving you. Trust that you'll turn it around, that's what I do. That's loving you. I will love you, God, with all my heart and soul, with all my mind and strength. Will you show me, God, to love like you love me, so all the world will see. Will love you, God, with all my heart and soul, with all my mind and strength. Will you show me, God, to love like you love me, so all the world will see.
Great singing. You can all take a seat.
Let's play Spot It. 2 cards will appear on the screen, and your job is to spot the object that is on both cards as quickly as possible. Spot it fast before the timer runs out. On your mark, get set, go!
From new neighborhoods popping up around town to new Lego builds that you spend the weekend creating, Things are under construction all around us, and it's exciting to watch it all because you never know what's going to happen. Especially on the hit construction show, Build It. Check this out.
Working with the excavator, working with the excavator, working with the excavator. Yeah! Beep, 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 beep.
Hey, Skip, what are you working on?
Oh, hey, Suze. I'm just working on the plans for an office I'm about to start building downtown.
Okay, so how's it going?
It's going great. Just finishing up the blueprints, like I always do.
Oh, really? You always do blueprints like this?
Yeah, it's not exactly to scale, seeing as how I'm working with Legos, but it always works out.
And what are you doing with that excavator?
Oh, I'm getting used to handling big equipment so that I'll be ready to tear down the old mill to prepare the new job site.
So you think that by practicing with this toy excavator, you'll be able to operate a real one?
Well, why wouldn't I? I thought you would want to help me. Want to give it a try?
Skip, you have got to be kidding me. There's no way that you or I can do this big of a job.
What are you so worried about? I was asked to do the job and I know what I'm doing. I've got everything under control. See the plans?
That's no plan, Skip. That's not an official blueprint. If this is the only plan that you've got, then there's so many terrible things that could happen to you, the builders, or the people that are gonna actually be in this office.
Calm down, Susie Q. My blueprint is just a scaled down representation of all the work that has to get done.
But you haven't included the important safety measures, like plumbing, underground piping, gas, and power. Skip, there is nothing about this building that will be built to code.
It's just fine. We'll be wearing our hard hats like we always do. Does that help you feel any better?
Not exactly. What if a big storm comes? With torrential downpour.
See? No worries. Still standing.
Oh yeah? What if strong winds come? From a huge tornado.
See? No worries. Still standing.
Well, what about a volcano erupting? And hot lava shooting everywhere.
See? No worries. Just a little cleanup, but still standing. As a matter of fact, a barrel of monkeys could attack the building site. And see? No worries. Still standing.
Here's what you need to know today. When I feel worried, I can trust God.
Let's play This or That, Emoji Edition. Round 1. Stop and see if you can name how Skip and Susanna feel. Everybody stand up. If you think the answer is on this side of the screen, do a dance. But if the answer is on that side of the screen, wave your hands in the air. How did Susanna feel about the big job Skip was working on? Do a dance if you think she was happy, or wave your hands in the air if you think she was worried. That's right! Susanna was feeling very worried. How was Skip feeling while he practiced using the toy excavator? Confident or stressed? Do a dance or wave your hands in the air. Right again! Skip felt confident that what he was doing would work well. If you think Susanna felt calm after Skip reassured her everything would be okay, do a dance. But if you think she felt more anxious, wave your hands. You got it! Susanna was more anxious. Way to go! That's how you stop and name your feelings. Round 2. Let's look around at what was really going on. If you think the answer is on this side of the screen, duck down low. But if the answer is on that side of the screen, reach up high. Why did Susanna feel worried? Because the Lego building was about to fall? Or because Skip prepared for their new project in the wrong way? Duck down low or reach up high. Susanna felt worried because Skip was preparing by using his own blueprints in Lego instead of doing things the right way. True or false? When Susanna started to ask Skip more questions, she got more and more worried. If you think it's false, duck down low. If you think it's true, reach up high. It's true. Instead of dealing with her feelings, Susanna only thought of what could go wrong, including things that weren't even possible. Did Susanna trust God with what Skip was planning to do? Yes or no? Duck down low or reach up high? No! Instead of worrying, Susanna could have trusted that God would help them. She just needed to stop, look, and listen.
Hey everybody, listen up. Here's what God has to say.
Has to say about what?
Well, I was just about to tell you
Wait,
that...
is it good news or bad news? Like, good news as when we're having pancakes for dinner?
Pancakes? What are you even talking about?
Oh no! Is it bad news? As in velociraptors are prowling around downtown with laser beams coming from their eyes and they're stealing everyone's pants? So many pants! It's got me so worried.
Let me stop you right there. That's what our story is about.
About pants?
Ha ha, not pants. Worrying. There are so many things we can worry about, and God has something to say about it. So let's jump into our story about Gideon.
Gideon! My main man! But wait, what did he have to worry about?
Great question, and great place to start. So, Gideon was an Israelite. The Israelites were God's chosen people, but they started to do some really bad things that upset him.
Oh, like cheating on tests and staying up past their bedtimes? That's like bad.
Oh, even really badder than that. They started to disobey God, so he let a mean group of people, the Midianites, rule over them. For years, they would attack the Israelites and destroy their crops.
Oh man, bullies who take your lunch money? Definitely lots to worry about.
Oh yeah, and this went on forever. Finally, the Israelites shouted out to God, asking for his help.
Time to throw up the bat signal.
Even though the Israelites had started worshiping false gods, the one true God heard their cries. He had an idea and was about to come through for them big time.
He was going to give them a shrink ray gun so they could turn the Midianites into little baby ants. Now that's an idea.
Oh, it's an idea, all right. And that's where Gideon comes back into the picture. Gideon, who was hiding while separating the wheat they used for bread, was worried that if the Midianites knew he had food, they would take it. That's when God sent an angel who said to Gideon,
Mighty warrior, God is with you.
Gideon did not feel like God was with them and asked the angel about all the bad things that were happening. That's when God himself spoke to Gideon. He said, "You are strong. Go and save Israel from the power of Midian. I am sending you."
Well, I guess it doesn't get much more clear than that, right?
Well, you'd think so, but Gideon was still worried. He wondered why on earth God would choose him to go save everyone. It's not like he came from a strong family. Gideon didn't feel important at all. God reassured Gideon that he would be with him, but Gideon needed a sign. So he asked God to stick around for a minute while he prepared an offering.
I'm sure God didn't mind waiting since he's got all the time in the world.
Gideon whipped up some bread and goat stew, brought it back, and placed it on a rock. That's when the angel touched it with a stick, and the whole thing went up in flames.
Flaming bread, and flaming stew, and flaming rocks.
There weren't any flaming rocks, but Gideon did make an altar there for God. And speaking of altars, that same night, Gideon snuck around.
Like a ninja dressed in all black, throwing ninja stars at the other altars, and slicing a pole in half using a samurai sword.
Gideon didn't have ninja stars or a samurai sword, but he did destroy the altar and pole his family had used for worshiping false gods.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Gideon did all this at night because he was afraid and worried that his family would be very angry with him. When the townspeople saw what Gideon had done, they wanted him to pay for it. But nothing bad happened to Gideon.
Sounds like that was a close call.
It sure was. A little while later, the Midianites started moving in for another attack, and it didn't take long for Gideon to start worrying again. He knew God had promised to use him to save Israel and all, but he needed another reminder.
What did Gideon have in mind? It It's not like God could just shoot him a text.
Yeah, no cell phones. But Gideon did have an idea. You see, dew would form overnight and make the ground, as well as everything else around it, wet. So Gideon left a piece of wool on the ground overnight and asked God to make the wool wet from the dew, but leave the ground dry.
Wet wool, dry ground, check.
Sure enough, God did just that. But Gideon still wasn't sure and asked God if he'd do just the opposite the next night.
Okay, so dry wool and wet ground. Got it.
When Gideon woke up the next morning, that's exactly what he found. The wool was dry, but the ground around it was covered in dew.
Please tell me Gideon trusted God this time.
Gideon was now confident that God wanted him to fight the Midianites. He knew that the Lord thought he was good enough to do the job. So Gideon decided to stop worrying, trust God, and do exactly what God wanted him to do.
So the next time we find ourselves worrying about anything,
We can trust God.
When I feel worried, I can trust God.
Get on your feet. It's time to play Stick Together. Watch to see what the dice land on. The first dice will tell you a number, and the second dice will tell you what you and your friends need to stick together. When the dice stops rolling, you start moving. Here we go. 6 feet. Find a group and put 6 feet together before the dice start rolling again. Two knees. Find a partner and put 2 knees together before the dice start rolling again. Three thumbs. Find a group and put 3 thumbs together. Good game, everyone. Go ahead and take a seat.
Let's review what we learned today. Try to memorize the cards before the timer runs out. Time's up! Which number has the match? Shout it out. 15. You found the first match. True or false? Gideon hid because he was worried that if the Midianites knew he had food, they would take it. True. Let's find the next match. Find the match, shout it out. 13. You got it. Here's our next question. Did God speak to Gideon? Yes or no? Yes! God himself told Gideon, "You are strong. Go and save Israel from the power of Midian. I am sending you." Let's find another one. Which number has the match? Shout it out. 4. Great job! It's time for one more question. The next time you feel worried, what can you remember? You can remember to trust God. He is always in control.
Let me tell you about a time when I had to stop, look, and listen. Like one time, I had to give a presentation in front of my whole class for show and tell. I'm usually shy and I have a hard time talking in front of a lot of people. The more I thought about it, the more my emotions started building up, and I was feeling all sorts of things. So I stopped and closed my eyes to help me name what I was feeling. And that's when I realized I was feeling worried. Next, I looked at what was really going on, and I saw that I was afraid that I would mess up my words or make a mistake and be made fun of by all of my classmates. Then, I needed to listen to what God says about it. So I read a verse in the Bible, 1 Peter 5:7, which says, "Give all your worries to him because he cares for you." And it reminded me that God cares about my feelings, and when I'm worried or anxious, I can pray and ask God to help me. Even though I was feeling worried, I remembered that I can trust God because he is always in control. So, the next time you're feeling something and you need to deal with how you feel, remember to stop, look, and listen.
One way to deal with all of your feelings is to worship God. So get on your feet. It's time to sing.
I'm lonely. You know when I'm sad, I know. And then you are with me. Yeah, you are with me. You know when I'm worried. You know when I'm mad, I know. And then I can trust you. Yeah, I can trust you. You don't want perfection. You just want my best. And when my mind is racing, you will give me rest. God is greater, greater than my feelings. He knows everything. He knows everything. God is greater, greater than my feelings. He knows everything. He knows everything. You know when I'm lonely. You know when I'm sad, I know. And then you are with me. Yeah, you are with me. You know when I'm worried. You know when I'm mad, I know. And then I can trust you. Yeah, I can trust you. You don't want perfection. You just want my best. And when my mind is racing, you will give me rest. God is greater, greater than my feelings. He knows everything. He knows everything. God is greater, greater than my feelings. He knows everything. He knows everything.
You are greater than all I feel. You know it all and you always will. I trust in you with all that I've got. Doesn't even matter if I feel it or not. You are greater than all I feel. You know it all and you always will. I trust in you with all that I've got. Doesn't even matter if I feel it or not.
God is greater, greater than my feelings. He knows everything. He knows everything. God is greater, greater than my feelings. He knows everything. He knows everything.
Great singing. You can all take a seat. Now, let's talk to God. Everyone bow your head, close your eyes, and pray with me. Hey God, help us to trust you when we feel worried. We know you are always in control. We love you. Amen.